The New York Jets have been devastated by injury, but there are 3 players on the roster that I think need to step up to fill the holes left by these guys.
Inside, and a beauty! Hall running free! Brees Hall inside the 10! He's gonna score!
What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Talking Jets with Tigo. My name is Tigo, and guys, if you haven't hit the subscribe button, do that now. It really helps us grow the channel. Hit the like button if you want to help us beat out the YouTube algorithm. Guys, I go live now, kind of relatively randomly, so if you want to be a part of that, hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I drop a video. But guys, the most important thing of all, amongst any of the things that you do, get into the comment section. The comment section is going insane. I would never try to control you guys because I couldn't, but I try to respond to every comment left on every single video. So go do that. Guys, the New York Jets, as we all know, have lost Vera-Tucker and Brees Hall, and Joe Douglas has gone out and addressed the massive-sized gaping hole left by Brees Hall and his injury. Now, the expectation shouldn't be that James Robinson, Michael Carter, Ty Johnson, and Bam Knight are going to, by themselves, fill the void of Brees Hall. It's just not possible. Brees Hall is an elite running back, and I really believe in our room. And the same can be said about Vera-Tucker. Vera-Tucker played at 4 different offensive line positions, and he did them all at a high level. And losing a player with this level of positional versatility and who played at such a high level, it's another massive hole and shoes to fill. But I think that there are 3 players that are on our current roster right now that can help fill the void left by Brees Hall and Vera-Tucker being out for the year, and possibly Corey Davis missing some time being day-to-day with his injury. So let's talk about these guys. Number 1 is Braxton Berrios. I know a lot of you remember we signed Braxton Berrios and we extended him. He is an $8 million player, and he hasn't been playing to that price tag as of yet. Now, I'm going to forgive him for that because I think it's been more about Mike LaFleur running the offense through Brees than it is about Braxton Berrios. Braxton Berrios is a good asset. A great example of that is there was a play where it's a jet sweep, he gets handed the ball, and if it's any player not named Braxton Berrios, that play is a tackle for loss. But Braxton is so quick and elusive, he turns upfield, makes 2 guys miss, and turns what should be a 3 or 4 yard tackle for loss into a 25-yard gain. Brees Hall has left massive shoes to fill. James Robinson and Michael Carter are going to do a pretty good job filling that. But you add Braxton Berrios not only in the rushing game, but just in the game in general on offense, and we can start reproducing what we lost in Braxton Berrios. I'd love to see him step up and become a leader for this offense in his absence. Let's talk about replacing Vera-Tucker. That's impossible, right? I don't think there's a single player on the roster or out there who can replace what Vera-Tucker did for this team. But there is one player who has been underperforming drastically, and I think he needs to start leading this offensive line, not just in the locker room and with the rah-rah speeches, but on the field as well. And for me, that has to be Laken Tomlinson. Laken Tomlinson is a $17 million guard. We signed him and gave him an extension, not an extension, but we brought him in from San Francisco as our offensive guard, because of the fact that he was absolutely elite in San Francisco. He was coming off of a Pro Bowl year and excellent and just was good, right? I think a lot of New York Jets fans wanted Laken Tomlinson in free agency. That being said, Laken Tomlinson has not lived up not only to the $17 million price tag that he has, but he hasn't been better than some of our backup guards. Like, I think Nate Herbig has come in and has looked better than what Laken Tomlinson is doing at the left side. And when Vera-Tucker was in, he was by far and away our best offensive lineman, and it made me question moving Vera-Tucker to the right side anyway. Laken Tomlinson, we know that he can perform well, but he needs to be better. You need to not just lead in the locker room, but lead from the field, lead from the front. And I'd love to see Laken Tomlinson be the guy, that's 20 yards upfield, running next to the running backs and doing those things and just working his tail off every snap and really earning that $17 million contract. And then the last player that I think everybody would agree needs to step up is Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson will be is in his second year. Technically speaking, will be starting his second year against the New England Patriots this coming Sunday. But Zach Wilson has looked okay. The Denver game was probably, in my opinion, after watching that game back, his second worst game in his career, second only to the first New England Patriots game that he played last year. But that being said, Zach Wilson is showing us growth. He's being safe with the football. He doesn't throw interceptions. He's getting the ball out on time. Not accurately, but he is getting the ball out on time. And his elusiveness is at an elite level, and we know that he's got the arm strength. It's time for him to put it all together. Unfortunately, this offensive line isn't giving him any help, but that shouldn't be an excuse. There have been quarterbacks out there in the NFL, even under pressure and under duress, have been able to get the ball out on time and accurately. Zach Wilson needs to do both of those things better. And if we can get improvement from Braxton Berrios, Laken Tomlinson, and Zach Wilson, this team is going to walk to the playoffs. That's honestly, that's the reality of the situation. The New York Jets are 5-2 going into week 8, and the real thing that we've got to talk about is if the Jets can, over the next 11 weeks, go 6-5 or 5-5, right? If that's what we do over the next 11 weeks, because I'm already counting the New England game. If we go 5-5, the New York Jets will make the playoffs easily. And that's all we need to do. Guys, let me know, who do you think that's on the roster right now that needs to take a step up and fill the holes left by Elijah Vera-Tucker and Breece Hall? And last but not least, go Jets.